Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to this very special episode of Faroe Island Whale Hunt. Now, in case you're wondering what that is, in case you're wondering, Barnabas, I don't know what that is. Can you show pictures? No, I can't. I'm not showing any pictures of the whale hunt because I've seen pictures, I've seen documentaries, I've read quite a bit. And the scenes are, how shall we say, maybe offensive, may get me banned again. How's my sound? May get me in trouble, and it's brutal. Admittedly, it is brutal, this whale hunt. 100%. There's no way around it. But if you think that I am going to be a member of Greenpeace on this episode, if you think that I am going to join the Faroe Islands Ending the Slaughter Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, I am not. I am not. I'm going to list my reasons why, and I'm going to tell you why I support. I don't know. I think they're called Faroese. The Faroese Islanders whale hunt. The Faroese Islanders whale hunt. I support you. And furthermore, in my extensive research of the Faroe Islands, bro, you can get a plane ticket for less than $1,000. What? Round trip. Okay. Direct flight, BWI, the Faroe Islands, unless we can land in Greenland or Trump land or whatever we're calling it now. But I have to check on hotel rates. I want to go to the Faroe Islands, and you better believe when I go, if I go, how about when I go? I'm going to eat some of that whale meat. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. When I travel, which is not often, one of my favorite things is the food. You want to try the local food. You want to try the local customs. You want to see what they have to offer because the food, the traditional food, it comes from the land. It comes from a time before planes, trains, automobiles, and refrigerators. Only thing they had back then was cellars and salt, and I guess you could dry stuff. That was the only way to preserve it, I think. Yeah, I guess. Or maybe fry it because they used to fry stuff back then. But there was a whale hunt. It just happened on May 27th. And I want to go during the whale hunt. I don't know if they'll let me because there are problems there. And what is this whale hunt? Who are the Faroese? Let me tell you who the Faroese are. The Faroe Islands is situated between between Norway and Iceland. Did I get that right? Let me look this up again. So basically, it's in the middle of nowhere. And when I say in the middle of nowhere, what I really mean is it's, between Iceland and Norway, north of the United Kingdom, right in the middle, kind of in those three, it kind of triangulates those three areas. And it is, how shall we say, if you want to get away from it all, that's a place to go. That is one of the islands to get away from it all. And you're probably asking me the next question, who are the Faroese Islanders? I don't know if that's right. Well, they're a bunch of Europeans. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to get into a big history of the Faroe Islands, but they are European. And it seems like for whatever reason, people have a problem with these Europeans eating whale. And why is that? And who's allowed to eat whale and who is not allowed to eat whale? Now, I have watched a lot of documentaries. I've read a lot of articles. And I know I shouldn't enjoy Wikipedia so much, but I do. I like it. I know there's propaganda on Wikipedia, but it's not all wrong. It's good general knowledge. It's good enough for the Barnabas Research Studios. And I am going to consult Wikipedia because that's what I like to do. I like to read Wikipedia, and we're going to get there. And now we have this thing called AI. It's just so fascinating. I'm going to use it. So judge not lest ye be judged. Sounds good. Stone Cold Day Q5P. Interesting name. Let's talk about whaling. Who was the first whaler? Jonah and the whale? I don't know. Let's talk about some whaling cultures that for some reason are tolerated. Okay, here we go. Indigenous and or aboriginal subsistence. The Maka tribe, USA, residing in Nay Bay, Washington. The Maka have legally hunted whales for at least 1,500 years. That's a long time. Whale hunts are central to their identity and are regulated via carefully managed Aboriginal quotas. Have you ever heard anyone complaining about them? I haven't. Doesn't mean someone doesn't complain, but I haven't heard them complain about it. Who else gets to whale without getting a lot of flack? The Inuit and the Chukata. In regions like Greenland and Russia, indigenous communities rely heavily on bowhead and beluga whales. FYI, beluga caviars. It was the most expensive last time I checked. And those are the white ones with the big ugly heads, and they're really smart. And apparently the military trains them to attack divers. I'm not making this up. And there's videos online of people dropping phones, cell phones, accidentally into the water, filming a beluga whale. What's up, Joe? And then the beluga whale, I'll be damned, like a dog, and I say that in a good way, of course, goes down and gets the phone and returns it to a human. So I get it. Killing whales is tough because they're smart. They have feelings. They are very smart. I don't know how we judge it, but if you can train a whale, we've seen SeaWorld, whales, dolphins, killer whales, whatever they are. We know that they are not like salmon. We know that they are not like tuna, and we could presume that probably when their life ends, they suffer more because of their sentience, I would imagine. I'm just putting that out there. At least that's the prevailing human thought. Anyways, the Inuit and the Chukota. I don't know how to say that, of course. The hunts are communal events where every part of the whale is distributed and used for nutritional and cultural purposes. Okay. Hey, I don't have a problem with that. The Bekia, which is, never heard of that, St. Vincent and Grenadines, which are certain Caribbean communities, specifically in Bekia. Does anyone know what Bekia is? Hold historic Aboriginal rights to hunt a limited number of humpback whales, preserving maritime traditions. People are not out there slaughtering whales for fun. This isn't like America and the buffalo when we were deleting buffalo. And it wasn't exactly like we were deleting buffalo for fun. I mean, maybe some people enjoyed just doing that, which is pretty foul, I must say. But they were trying to get rid of the food source for the people that they were trying to displace. So that's really the reason, which for some reason often is not said, which that might make it even worse, honestly. But just a little tidbit there for you. And then we have, here we go. What else do we have? Oh, this is historical commercial. And what about this? Oh, they don't even mention the other one. Where's the other one? They do it in Indonesia. Why is that not listed? Come on, AI. See, sometimes AI doesn't know it all. Indonesia whaling. Let's look this up because I did read about them. Whaling in Indonesia is strictly limited to traditional subsistence hunting practiced by indigenous communities in two remote villages, Lamalera on Lambata Island and Lamakera on Solar Island. These communities rely on seasonal small-scale hunting of sperm whales, lol, using handmade wooden boats and hand-thrown harpoons. That's pretty awesome. If you've never seen Moby Dick, the movie from the 50s, you've got to watch it because the actual whaling in that movie is real. And they row up to these whales, and I'll be damned if they don't take a spear and throw it right in the whale. Brutal. And then they tie the boat to it. and then they'll throw another spear and tie another boat to it, and then the whale just gets exhausted. It's such a horrible ending, honestly. And then they just row up next to the whale, and then they just spear it to death. Ugh. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that happening to you? That's got to be like the most awful feeling ever. Poor white Europeans get blamed for everything. So these other tribes, interesting we call them tribes, civilizations, they do it and they eat it, and it's part of their culture. And it's fine, and I support it. They're not trophy hunting whales just to put some whale bones on the wall. They harvest it. That's a nice way of saying something. And then they eat it. What's the problem? And in the Faroe Islands, oh, look, they do the same thing. They harvest it and they eat it. What is the problem? What is the problem with that? You fill in the blanks. You figure it out. What's the problem with that? Here's what I probably can surmise the problem with that is. For one, apparently everything is gone extinct. Everything's endangered. We can't touch it or this or that. Maybe they'll say that. But let me tell you, the Faroe Islands, they're not out in these ocean-going blue water ships hunting Faroe whales, hunting pilot whales. They wait for the whales to come around their island. And then they take their boats out and then they kind of corral them into the inlet. And they scare them up towards the shore. And then they throw lassos on the tail. I can't show any of this because it is brutal. And the whole tribe, the whole community, it's a community event. And I think it's once a year, and it just happened May 27th. They pull them into the shore. Now, a pilot whale, it's like a big dolphin. I'm guessing it's like the size of, imagine 3 bottlenose dolphins. I'm just guessing. I've actually seen pilot whales, herd, or what do they call it? They call it something, a pod. I've actually seen them. They look like black bottlenose dolphins, but apparently they're whales. They put the rope on the tail. They pull them up. And then people come out with spears and just harvest them. And this year it seems like every year they get around 700. So you can imagine 700 harvested whales in a small area in the water. The water, it's like when Moses turned the Nile red. I mean, it is red. Look it up. Faroe. And it's pretty brutal looking. It's might be shocking to say. It was shocking to me, actually, and I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegetarian. But it's not a pleasant looking scene for a lot. But it's not a pleasant scene for people who only think food comes from a supermarket. And I know I'm going to get 5 trillion views on this video. But when I get my 5 million comments, the only comments that are against me, the only ones that I'll ever take seriously are ones coming from vegans. You have to be a vegan for me to even consider this. Because if you're not a vegan, does your opinion really count in this matter? The answer is no. So you're telling me you're eating chickens, but I can't eat a whale? Because I raise chickens. Okay, they're not the smartest, but they recognize you. They show love in their own special way. They come up to you. They like to be pet. They like to be held. They show affection in a chicken kind of way. And you're going to eat that. You're going to steal their eggs. But you got a problem with the whales. And you're going to tell me you eat hamburger? Have you seen a cow? Cows are smart as dogs, maybe smarter. And they're affectionate. And they're caring. And they're compassionate. And they raise their children. And they have a pretty decent life right up until the point where their caregiver sells them to the devil and ends their life, which is such a horrible existence for a cow. It's like pretty decent, probably up until the end. when it's the ultimate betrayal. The person who raised you actually sold you for meat. Could you imagine cows? Do you think the cows kind of gossip and have like this Soylent Green? I hope you've seen Soylent Green, kind of this Soylent Green discussion like, yo, that Soylent Green is people. You think they're like, yo, hamburger is us. Some horrible experience these cows go through. Horrible experience these cows go through at the end. And a little side note, I went to a slaughterhouse. I went to a slaughterhouse in California. And I got to see the whole process from the feedlot, because the local farms raise the cows, then they sell them at auction, and then they drive them to a massive feedlot where there's thousands of cows and miles high of fertilizer, and it really stinks. And that's where they feed them the quote unquote unnatural food, such as corn and this other stuff that they say is bad for them, and they fatten them up. And then once these cows are the prerequisite weight, they get them in the stockade and they herd them in there. And I've seen every step. And the first step is get them in line, hose them down. And this slaughterhouse did 1,000 head a day, 1,000 head. And each person did one thing like 1,000 times. And it was one guy's job it looked like a lightsaber. And you untwist it, and then you put this 22 blank in, and you put it on their head, and you press the button, and it fires like a nail, like a retractable dart. It's awful. Could you imagine doing that 1,000 times a day? And then they're on a trap door, and then they fall out, and then the door opens, and the next one comes in. It's horrifying for these cows. And then the next guy, his only job is to take this cow that was just and wrap its feet in chains 1,000 times, and then it lifts it up. And then like the next guy, I think, sprays it off some more. And then the next one has a machete. Or no, the next one has like a, I don't know, paring knife, and gets him in the jugular. Both sides. And just like, whoosh. I've never seen so much blood. Just whoosh. And these people are all in rubber suits, and they're literally ankle deep in blood. And seeing that is shocking. And I love steak. But it's good to see that. It's good to see so you can appreciate where your meal comes from. And then the next guy has a machete, and all his job is just to hack it open. And the next guy has these gloves like all up here, and he just puts his arms in and like pulls all the guts out. And it just goes on down the line until you see steaks and ground beef. But there was a point to that story. The point of that story is eating meat is brutal. And it's a sanitized version that we see in the grocery store. And I've never been to a pig slaughterhouse, and I've never been to a veal slaughterhouse or lamb. Yes, I have hunted quite a bit, not recently, but I've harvested many animals, and it's brutal. It is, and it's unpleasant. But when you hunt, when you see it, when you get that organic meat, you really have an appreciation for it. And when you eat it, you remember the experience, and you feel part of the earth. You feel part of something, as opposed to feeling part of giant food store, as opposed to feeling part of Trader Joe's or something of that nature, or Whole Foods or whatever, Safeway, whatever you got around you. So I think the visual aspect of seeing all these whales wind up, it scares people, and it's upsetting. And the fact that they are intelligent, but I can't imagine that a whale is more intelligent than a cow or a goat or sheep, because these are intelligent creatures, and we eat them no problem. Even chickens, as I've said, are intelligent. Ducks, intelligent. They know what's up. They're not so stupid. They just can't talk English or any other human language for that matter. And that's what's going on. Anyway, so let me read about this whaling culture from Wikipedia. And I'll just skip through it. let's see, where whaling in the Faroe Islands. It's drive hunting, as I discussed. So they just corral them into their Faroe Islands kind of inlet. Each year they get around 700. So they got 700 whales again this year. Everyone's losing their mind. Sea Shepherd's all upset. But this is what I really found interesting. The practice dates back to, guess when the practice dates back to? Guess how long? Guess how long the Faroese have been eating these whales, if that makes it any better or worse. Because there's some type of, there's something to be said. And I don't necessarily agree with it, honestly. Oh, we've always done this, so we can just keep doing it. Right? That's what they say. This is our culture. We've done this forever. You can't stop us. Well, what if I want to start a new culture? What if I want to go and hunt some whales? Why not? But apparently I can't. But what's it? Providence? Providence? No. God, I'm trying to think of a smart word to say. I can't think of it. Anyways, they have been hunting these whales since the 9th century. So 800 AD. So they've been hunting these whales for 1,200 years. 1,200 years. I don't even know what was going on in the 800s. Yo, what is up? I don't even know what was going on in 800 AD. That's before the Dark Ages. Was that like during the Roman times or something? Like, I don't even know. I really have to look that up. That's before the Black Plague. That's before kings and castles. In the year 800, they've been eating these whales. They've been eating these whales. I don't hate vegetarians. Look, I'm not against vegetarians. I'm not against vegans. If someone wants to say, hey, we should eat vegetables and tofu, bro, I'm down. I get it. But the cat is out of the bag, so to speak. Pandora's box has been open. And like a dog that has a taste for blood, I too have a taste for ribeye. And it's true. But I do cook. I've cooked the best. No one cooks tofu better than me. It's kind of a burden I have to bear. Nobody cooks tofu better than Barnabas. I know it seems kind of odd, but it's true. And yeah, I got some tofu in my fridge right now. I'm going to mix it up. I'm not against vegans. All I'm saying is no one's allowed to complain about the Faroese eating these whales unless you're a vegan. If you're a vegan, you're just on shaky ground. You're not even on ground. You got nothing to stand on. You're on no foundation. There's no foundation whatsoever. And welcome to the show, Annabelle. The Faroese just did their yearly whale hunts. Viking expansion into Northern Europe. And as another thing, I know Vikings are held in high esteem around many people that look like me. But, bro, I'm just not impressed with Vikings. Like, oh, you get on a boat and then you sneak up on villages and delete them and steal their stuff. Like, that's tough. Bro, that's not cool. You just go and steal stuff on a boat. Your seafaring adventures are great. I'll give you that. You're a great sailor. But just to go around and raid villages, bro, I'm against that. So if I'm going to start a movement, I'm going to start the anti-Viking movement, or anti-putting Vikings in some type of positive light where we should be like Vikings. No, we shouldn't be like Vikings. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yes, I prefer the seafaring part. Anyways, let's get back to this. So they've been hunting these whales for 1,200 years, and now everyone has a problem with it. The practice dates back to the 9th century, and many Faroe Islanders, I guess Faroese is not a word, consider eating whales to be an important part of their history. Since 1948, the hunt has been regulated by the Faroese authorities. That sounds like the fox watching the hen house. Honestly, I am trying to be fair and balanced. Required its participants to be trained. Of course. I mean, killing a whale takes a bit of knowledge. It's like fishing with a spear. Involved modern boats. I think that's what gets people mad. And communications, and be supervised by police. Okay. The hunt has been under increasing scrutiny since the 80s. Domestically, concerns have arisen over the potential toxicity of whale meat. Now, that's a problem, particularly for young children, preggers, and internationally animal rights groups who consider the hunts cruel and unnecessary have targeted them with protests, boycotts, and occasional direct interventions. This is the problem I have. Why don't you animal rights groups come with that same energy? Come with the same energy to the Lamakeras in Indonesia. Come with that same energy to the Lambatas, the Lamaveras in Indonesia. Come at them. These international groups should come at them with the same energy to these Inuits and to all these other people who, why is it the only time we got a problem with people? Look, if you want to say that commercial whaling is bad and depleting the universe, I'll have a listen. I will have a listen. But if you're going to tell me all the Indonesians and all the Inuits and all these other traditional people can eat as many whales or have whales under supervision, or they just eat whales and they're never bothered, but when the Faroe Islanders eat it because they've been doing it for 1,200 years and you have a problem with it, bro, there's a word for that, okay? And I'm not having it. I'm not having it. The Faroe Islanders are not out here just deleting whales for sport. They wait until the whales come around their island and then they hunt those whales. It's a specific time, a migration pattern or something of this nature. And they eat it. They eat the whole thing and they'll show. I know. I've seen all the documentaries. And again, as I said, I'm not showing it because it may get me banned. But they take the carcasses, they take the bones, and then they push them all into the corner. They push them into the water at some spot. And they say, they're wasting the whales. It's like, bro, they took all the meat off and all the organs and livers and all the weird stuff they want to eat, and they're going to eat it. Even the American Indians didn't use every single part of the buffalo. They didn't use every single bone. They didn't use every single intestine. They didn't use every single horn. There's always a little bit left. And you got to throw it back or leave it out. And guess what? In nature, sorry to pop your bubble, but nothing gets wasted. When you throw all that whale meat, or it's not, they don't throw the meat away. When they throw the carcass with the bones into the water, it's like a feeding frenzy for the fish. It's feeding the fish, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Everything gets eaten. Nothing goes to waste in nature. Even if you think those buffaloes that were deleted in the American plains, you think they just all went to waste? Even if they rotted and there wasn't coyotes to eat them and there wasn't wolves to eat them and there wasn't bears to eat them, which there was, it would decompose and turn into fertilizer. Like, nothing is wasted. That doesn't mean that I support what we did to the buffaloes. I do not. Of course, let me reiterate that. But nothing is wasted in nature, ever. Ants got to eat. Worms got to eat. Just like birds got to eat. Let's see. We do not need meat anymore with, I don't know, with supplements. I don't know what that. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Have higher standards. You should be proud. That's an interesting comment, honestly. But for people that have been eating these whales for 1,200 years, imagine growing up on the Faroe Islands. It's freezing cold. There's only like, how many people do you think live on the Faroe Islands? How many people live on the Faroe Islands? You can guess now, but I'll tell you. 56,000 people. It's actually more than I thought. So an island with 56,000 people in the middle of nowhere, it's just freezing cold all the time. They're not out here wasting meat And it's a community event. It's a community event. Every community has an event, but how many communities have an event where you work together? It's like an Amish barn raising. Let's get together and build a barn in a day because we're Amish and we care about each other and we want that camaraderie and we want to build community and we want to share in the workload. United we stand, divided we fall. Let's raise the barn. The Faroese, and they got this. What language do they speak? God, so many questions. Do you think they speak their own language? What language is spoken in the Faroe Islands? Bro, they have their own freaking language. They speak Faroese. They speak Faroese. Can you believe it? So they have their own language. They should probably use it as code talkers. Faroese, a North Germanic language closely related to Icelandic and Old Norse. Bro, 56,000 people get together. Bro, it's whale time. It's like a big buffalo hunt in America for the Indians. The whales are coming. The whales are coming. It sounds exciting. It sounds fun. They're all sharpening their spears, getting their ropes out. All right, boy. Fold the rope up right. Tie it correctly. Don't get knots in it. Make sure there's no holes in your boat. Get your waders on. Could you imagine 56,000 people showing up? That's like the best party of the year. You got spears, ropes, boats, tons of meat. Think of the festivals after. And watch the documentaries, man. Watch the documentaries. Watch how they cook this. There's full documentaries about the Faroe Islands and this whale meat and how they prepare it and how they freeze it and how they eat it all year round. They're not wasting whale meat. They're not hunting just for the lulz. They're not sitting there standing like Donald Trump's son next to some elephant. And FYI, those elephants, people eat those elephants too. Just want to say that if you read about these elephant hunts where the rich people go, am I going to go to Africa and hunt? No. Even if I was a billionaire, would I go? No, because I don't feel part of the land. I feel part of the Colorado land. I feel part of the Maryland land. I feel part of it. I can feel it. Maybe if I could go to Europe and hunt somehow, I would. I wouldn't mind going on safari, checking out these animals, but just going to shoot an elephant or something, it's a little distasteful for me. I don't feel part of it. But don't sit there and say, they just kill it for the tusks. They don't. Read the whole story. Like the whole village eats that damn elephant. And they pick out which ones they're allowed to harvest. So it's a whole thing. And it brings them like to kill an elephant in Africa. How much the money is going to blow your mind. Let's look this up. How much does it cost to hunt elephant? I think that's the most expensive. $11,000 to $80,000. Bro, you got to be rich or you got to love it. Or you got to be Teddy Roosevelt or Kaiser von Wilhelm, who had quite a penchant for hunting. Just a little FYI. Oh, also, Franz Ferdinand was like the world's biggest hunter. That's the guy that started World War I when he got deleted. All his trophies still exist. Interesting story. Anyways, let's get back to these Faroe Islanders. History. And this is from Wikipedia, and I know that this is a lame source, but I'm going to go with it. The evidence for whaling on the Faroe Islands dates back to the early days of Norse settlement, 800 AD, during the Viking Age. After 1000 AD, when Sigmundur Brettisson, I mean, bro, who even knows? Let's see, brought Christianity to the Faroes, the islanders began keeping records, of their whale kills for the purpose of the taxes due to the King of Norway. This is interesting. There's archaeological evidence of whaling in the form of pilot whale bones found in household remains dating back from 1200 AD, and laws regulating the whale hunt appear in the 1298 sheep letter. Bro. Written records of whale kills survived from 1584, and statistical records are considered particularly reliable from 1709 to the present. Let's see here. The 20th century saw increased regulation of Faroese whaling. On 1907, the Danish governor and sheriff sent the first draft for whaling regulations to the Danish authorities in Copenhagen. And in 1932, the first modern whaling legislation was introduced as part of the Home Rule Act of 1948. The powers relating to legislating on and regulating fishing and hunting of the Faroes were transferred. It's funny. Faroes with an F. Were transferred from the Danish parliament to the, there it is, Faroese parliament. That is a word. I think that's about it, honestly. I think that's it. As I've said before, if you want to see that sort of thing, look it up. It is kind of shocking. Harpoons and spears. Oh, as the use of harpoons and spears at sea is now prohibited. Oh, okay. What? The whales are now all killed on beaches in full view of spectators. That's why it bothers people. The process in which a pilot whale's dorsal region is cut, their spine severed, and their main arteries opened is naturally graphic in nature. The entire sea surrounding a whale hunt beaching location tends to turn a bloody red, just like the Nile, allegedly. And this vivid imagery can have a shocking effect on onlookers. This is what I was saying. In this regard, the whale hunt is not considered a tourism-friendly practice. Bro, that's when I want to go. I want to eat that fresh whale meat, not because I'm a killer, not because I'm a psychopath, not because there's something wrong with me mentally, but this is of cultural significance. This is their culture, and I like fresh, harvested, organic meat as fresh as possible. I love it when you go fishing in the Chesapeake Bay and you accidentally catch an oyster on a hook when you're bottom fishing. It happens. You got a fresh oyster, you pop it right there. I love eating fresh fish that you catch. It's actually my dream to go on a boat and go fishing and roll sushi. Have like some rice cooked up and roll some sushi, like fresh, right out of the water. I've never done that. It's on my bucket list. Or maybe I should just cut it and just eat it just like right there. Just cut it. Just do some sashimi. I don't even need rice. I just bring like some sprouts, a little nori. You know what? I don't even need that. Just bring some soy sauce and a knife. Next time I go fishing, I'm bringing soy sauce. I already got the knife, and I'm going to eat sushi right then and there. Watch me. I'm going to have the world's freshest sushi ever. That's my dream, and I got to live a dream, and that's where I'm at. That's what my thoughts are encompassing at the moment. Let's get back to whaling. It's not... The whale hunt is not considered a tourism-friendly practice as compared to, say, the Matanza, I don't even know what this is, tuna fishing process in Sicily and Sardinia, which apparently is traditional tuna fishing technique where they catch them in nets. Okay, fair enough. In 2006, Olivar Swedberg, the chairman of Faroese Pilot Whalers Association, said of the pilot whale hunt, "I'm sure that no one who kills his own animals for food is unmoved by what he does. You want it done as quickly and with as little suffering as possible for the animal." And this is something we need to discuss. If we're not going to be vegans, if we're not going to be vegetarians, what is the most humane way to finish something off? If you were going to be food for a giant, how would you want to go? I think the guillotine's pretty cool, honestly. I definitely don't want the electric chair. I don't want a firing squad. Maybe a noose if it's done right, but anytime you read about that stuff, they always get it wrong and they suffer. Ugh. I think the guillotine's where it's at. I don't want to. I'm allergic to pain. I don't want to suffer. I mean, it probably really hurts. They did experiments back in the day with the guillotine. I don't know if you know this or not. It's kind of gross, but they would pick up the head and like talk to it. And before the person got their chopped off, they would tell them like, "Hey, if you can hear me, blink twice or do something." There's tests out there that are documented, but I can't find any conclusive evidence as to if there was any sentient thought in just the head. In all honesty, there could be, as long as there's a blood pressure. But the problem is when it's off with the head, your pressure drops pretty quick, and you'd probably just pass out and just bleed to death. But just think about that. Like all the blood would just be like whoosh out of your head. Boom, done. Nothing. No gas in the tank. And then I wonder if the body feels anything on its own. I don't know. It's kind of taking a dark turn, honestly. I just want to talk about whales. Let's get back to the whales. Let's get back to the Faroe Islands. I don't know if I said this or not. I think I did earlier, but yeah, I did. Nonstop flights from BWI to Faroe Islands, less than $1,000 round trip. I'm fascinated by it. I don't know what hotels run, but look how beautiful these Faroe Islands are. It looks like Scotland or something. It really does. And there's only 56,000 people. It's kind of an interesting setup they have going on. Okay. The locations, catch statistics. Here we go. Records of the drive exist in part since 1584 and continuously from 1709. Faroese whaling catches have gone through several peaks and troughs. Did I say that right? In the last trough, yeah. In the last century, while notable peaks just before World War II in the 50s. Notable peaks just bore World War II, comma, in the 50s and 80s. Okay, it's kind of a weird way to write that. Each catch is divided into Faroese skins, 2 ends, a unit of measurement for dividing whale carcasses into combined meat and blubber portions weighing about 75 kilograms. Of course, that's 150 pounds. Yeah, they eat the fat. So they have their own weight system or measurement. I guess they measure by length or volume. I'm not sure. They have their own measurement system on this island, which is very interesting. And it's called SKINNS. And they eat the fat, or they cook with it, or they do something with it. Let's see here. In 1709, I don't know how to read this. 1709 to 1950. Oh, the average is 738 whales. Okay. And they killed like 700 this year. So what's the big deal? 1951 through 1960, they killed 2,000. 1961 through 1970. And this is per year. 2,000 a year, that on average, 1,700. The biggest year was, 1981 to 1990, 2,100. And they've kind of leveled out around 700 a year for the past couple of decades. The largest catch of pilot whales in a single season in recent decades was 1,200, in 2017. The average since 2000 has been 670. In the same period, the average number of white-sided dolphins caught has been 298. So they catch pilot whales and these white-sided dolphins. Human casualties. Okay, so anyone in Greenpeace or PETA will probably enjoy this. On Saturday 13th, I wonder if that was a Friday, February 1915, there was a whale hunt in Sandvik. During the drive, 2 boats capsized because of rough seas with 15 men aboard, 14 of whom lost their lives. Jesus. The men came from villages. Only one survived. What a shame. Wow. Cultural significance. And let's see, how am I looking? I've got 10 million viewers. You just looked it up? Yeah, harvesting meat is not for the faint of heart. Is there a more humane way? I guess becoming vegan, which again, I'm not against. Cultural significance. The meat and blubber of the pilot whale are traditional part of the diet of the Faroese community. Marine mammal blubber has also historically been processed for lamp oil. There it is. And just of note, in case you didn't know, before humans figured out how to take oil from the ground and turn it into gasoline, the main source of energy was whale oil. And Moby Dick, Herman Melville, all this whaling culture. It's big in Connecticut. Moby Dick is based off a real story, by the way. And the name of the ship is the Essex. Look it up. While it wasn't a great white whale, allegedly a whale did attack and sink the Essex. And it is quite a story of survival and heroism. I guess it's real. Because the people who actually survived, there's only a few, didn't come back until years later. It's very interesting. Essex. Check it out. But back in the day, whale oil was how we would light our homes before electricity, before gasoline was invented. And if you didn't want to use a candle, you wanted to use a lamp. And they used it for other stuff too. And that's why it was so important. That's why the whole commercial whaling was around back then, which is something that is often lost in modern day. And this goes on to my evidence that supports the Faroese community's ability to continue whaling as they have for 1,200 years. And for people who say that they waste the whale, they don't waste the whale. You can't eat 100% of an animal. You just can't. Something can, but we can't. And let's just see what they use all this whale for. Let's see here. Marine mammal blubber, as I said before, also has historically been processed for lamp oil and for medicinal purposes. Not sure what those are. The skin of pilot whales was, I guess that means not now, once used to make fishing lines and ropes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine taking whale skin to make fishing line? Jesus. That is much harder than going to Walmart and buying some fishing line. Fishing line and ropes, while their stomachs were used as fishing floats. Other parts of the animal were used to make shoes. Faroese cuisine is generally dominated by the use of animal products, as only about 2% of the 1,400 kilometers of land on the island is at all suitable for arable crops. As a result, during the winter months, the Faroe Islanders traditionally eat mostly salted or dried food, including mutton. I can get down with mutton, fish, seabirds, and the meat and blubber from sea animals. I got to try it. I am scared. And if you look at this, yeah, okay, I can show this. I don't know what you think whale meat looks like, but this is not what I thought it looked like. And this does not look good. If you look at it and you think it looks like truffles, it kind of looks like truffles. But that's whale meat, bro. You think it tastes like fishy beef jerky? Like, what is that? Bro, what is that? Black meat of the pilot whale. It looks dry. Definitely, I think it's probably dried or salted. Look how it's like all sliced and dried. He's got like a fork. Bro, do I just eat that like that? Can I get some garlic aioli or like what do I dip this in? You got some hot sauce? You got some sriracha, or is this beef jerky? It's like chicken of the sea. It's beef jerky of the sea. It's pilot whale. Does it get any dry? You know what they probably serve with that? A dry piece of bread. I don't know, man. Put some butter and salt on it. I don't know. It looks scary, but I want to try it before I go. I think it's going to be my lifelong dream, perhaps. All right, let's get back into this. Let's get back into the important matters at hand, which are, here we go. Where did I drop off? Yeah, in the winter they eat mostly salted or dried food. I had to watch a documentary again because they probably have a supermarket or two, maybe. And they probably have refrigerators and freezers. But I can only imagine how expensive. How expensive do you think it is for a gallon of milk from the mainland? How expensive do you think it is for a ribeye steak? And they probably eat more lamb and sheep in England, probably, or something. And to import that on a ship, God, it's got to be expensive. It's probably like $4,700 for one ribeye cooked at home. Bro, that's a lot of money. All right. The pilot whale hunt is also a recurring motif in Faroese literature and art, such as the Grindedrap paintings by Samuel Johansen Makines, which are exhibited in the Faroese Art Museum. Bro, I want to see the whale hunt, and I want to go to the Faroese Art Museum in Tórshavn. Whale hunts were also once celebrated with a traditional cultural dance as the... we could see this. What do we think this looks like? The grindosaur. I swear to God, this is called the grindosaur. There's got to be a video. There's got to be a YouTube video of the traditional whale dance called the grindosaur. Please be a video of the grindosaur. I'm dying to see this. Damn it. Come on. We can do that. Come on. Bear with me, everybody. I know you want to see this damn grindosaur. Why did that not copy correctly? I've got so many damn tabs. Just stick with me. I do appreciate all the millions of viewers right now and your patience, because we got to figure out what's up with this dance that's called the grindosaur. And I wonder what they wear. Is there traditional clothing? This is like the forbidden dance. This is like the lambada. There's not even a video of it. Are you kidding me? This is more of a forbidden dance than the damn lambada. I type in grindosaur. Hold on. Let me try one more time. Do you mean, oh my God, I can be the first YouTube video posting the traditional grindosaur dance. And then I'm definitely going to go viral. The ancient. I can't believe this. There's no freaking. YouTube is stumped. Oh my God. It really is the forbidden dance. Somebody find this grind dance. Oh, hold up. Okay, no, calm down. I found it. Damn it. That would have been great to be the first person to film the grindosaur dance. It doesn't look very grindy, honestly, but let's take a look. Hopefully the music doesn't claim it. Let's have a go at this. And let's see. Let's see what I can do. Damn it. Let's see what we got here. Let's check out the grindosaur dance. You guys ready for the forbidden dance? The lambada's got nothing on this one. Let's go. I bet it sounds like polka. Here we go. No music, only singing and dancing. Wow. I think I could learn those dance moves. It looks like you just go left and right. I think the singing part I may struggle with, but nothing worth doing is something. Oh, hold on. Is this black and white? Is this an actual video? Is this an actual video that's in black and white? Let's see the original.
It's easy.
Let's see if we can get something more. Here we go. That's fun. Let's try this one out. Are only old people allowed to do it? That's this is, do young people, is it not cool for the young people? Maybe it's a dying art because I don't see any videos of young people doing this. Maybe I need to move there, apply for citizenship, and double down my efforts to expand and preserve their culture, even though I'm not from there. Because the only one I see doing this forbidden lambada grindosaur dance. I'm just concerned that everyone looks so old. What's up, Arpol? No, it doesn't look hard at all. That's what she said. Oh, I need a laughing meme. I only have like claps and boos, but I don't have laughs. Damn it.
Oh my God.
That'll have to do for now. That will have to do for now until I make the requisite upgrades to the Barnosphere in the barn yard. I wonder if you do the traditional grindosaur, and it's, let me post the spelling of this. I think I'm taking liberties with the pronunciation. It is a grindadansur. Grindandansur. Oh, am I frozen? Am I banned? Am I still here? Okay, I hope that works. Grindandansur, that's how you spell it. I wonder if you do that before or after the harvest. Anyways, let's get back to it. Let's get back to this whaling community. Let's get back to this. So we talked about, let's see, whale hunts were also once celebrated. Once celebrated. Why did they stop? That's why they need to bring that back. That's why the people are old. I think they should have mandatory grindandasaur training. I mean, bro, your culture's dying off. What's your excuse? Whale hunts were also once celebrated with a traditional cultural dance known as the grindandasaur. And in 1835, one Danish governor, Amistad, on the Faroe Islands, Christian Ployen, published a whaling ballad called Grind. We got to hear this. Damn it. We're really going down a rabbit hole. Let's hear the whaling song. Let's hear the whaling song because we heard a few different songs. I want to hear this song because I want to get some whales and I want to do it right. I want to do the dance, and I want to listen to the song, and we are going to explore this now. Here we go. Why does it come up like that? I type something in, and this is bizarre. This is bizarre. Grinda Visan. It's so, it like translates for you? Grinda Visan. Yes. Oh, that was the song we just heard. Okay. Let me hear this one. Here's an upgraded version. It looks like some rock band covered it. So let's have a listen to the modern interpretation of this. I wonder if they do the same dance that we all know and love here in the barnyard. Let's have a go at it. I'm probably going to get blocked. If I get blocked, it's because I'm playing this awesome song. So please forgive me. But let's have a listen to this. I mean, that's pretty cool. That gets me in the mood to go hunt some whales. Absolutely. Absolutely. If ever there was a whale hunting song, it's that one. If only they have I wonder if they have a grind dinosaur mosh pit. All right. So they have this Grind of Visan, which is a whaling ballad that was created in 1835. The Faroese place names often speak explicitly to whaling culture, such as that of the town of Havlik, which means whale bay. Culinary tradition. The tradition of eating pilot whale meat and blubber dates back many centuries. Today, it is consumed as a Faroese delicacy. Meat and blubber, svast alkspich in Faroese, can be stored and prepared in various ways. When fresh, that's what I want, the fresh meat. Pilot whale meat can be served as steak, called a grinda bufur. Meat, blubber, and potatoes are also boiled together in stews, while slivers of the blubber are a popular accompaniment to dried fish. On special occasions, a dish called kaltbord, a spread of cold dishes and cakes, often includes dried. Oh, that's what we saw the picture of, I think. Dried pilot whale meat and salted blubber can be served. The traditional means of preserving meat and blubber is by salting or outdoor wind drying, a process that takes around 8 weeks. Salting is done by immersing the meat or blubber in brine that is sufficiently saline that a potato can float in it. That's an interesting choice of words there. The meat and blubber can last for a long time in this condition, but cannot be eaten directly. Instead, the salt water must be allowed to drain back out of the meat or blubber before consumption. Today, many people also freeze the meat and blubber, but the traditional way of storing is still practiced, particularly in the villages. So are some of these Faroese islanders living in igloos or something? I don't know. Apparently, there's some kind of health risk. There's mercury, PCB. Great. It increases the risk of Parkinson. What? Maybe that's God's wrath upon the Faroese for eating whales. I'm sure some people might say that. Competing interpretations. Faroese whaling practices have been challenged by environmental organizations, most notably the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. That's the Whale Wars guy. as being cruel and unnecessary, with critics pointing out that the suffering of the animals is not as limited as claimed. Reports on the length of time it takes the mammals to die are extremely variable, ranging from a few seconds to tens of minutes. And that is without touching on the psychological suffering that the animals endure as they are herded into bays and killed in the presence of each other. It brings to mind the end of the Romanov dynasty. And if you don't know what that is Tsar Nicholas, the last king. Tsar means king in Russian, of course. And how shall we say this? Russia was an empire, and it had a king. It was a czar. And during World War I, they fell apart. And that's when Lenin came around with the Bolsheviks, and the White Russians were on the king or czar's side, the Romanovs, the Romanov dynasty. And if you don't know it, they kind of died a very pilot whale death in a way, in that the entire family was in a basement of some house, and they were all together shot in a room and stabbed, which is horrible. And you can say a lot of bad things about the Romanovs. Probably a lot of them are true, but to sit there with your family, like we're talking kids, the entire bloodline, boom, eliminated in one room, in a room with rifles, with bayonets, just like kind of impromptu during this revolution. Kind of interesting there. Same with Romania. I don't know if you know about Ceausescu. There's actually video of that where he got the husband and wife. They summarily executed them after a trial. They just took them outside from the courtroom, and I mean, it's not funny, is it? No, it's not. And they shot them down. There's actually video of that. But these pilot whales do suffer, and it's pretty awful. But what's the best way to go? How can you humanely catch a big whale and then finish it off? It says guns are illegal. It seems like guns would be a better way, right? If you were a pilot whale and you could choose your method of demise, I'd rather get shot in the head with a shotgun slug or a big rifle than stabbed and speared and sliced. Ugh. But the guns are illegal for whatever reason. So what are we supposed to do? They're going to eat the whales. The Faroese are going to Faroese. They're going to eat whales. They're not wasting the meat. And that's where it's at. Let's get back to it. Yeah, they suffer. I'm not dancing around that claim. Reports on the length of time, extremely variable, a few seconds, tens of minutes. And that is without touching on psychological suffering, as we said before, Romanov style. Killed and they're deleted in the presence of each other, a point emphasized by Sea Shepherd. Yeah, it's pretty awful. But on the flip side of that, it's not like the ocean is a forgiving place. You don't think pilot whales get eaten by anything bigger than it? They do. Killer whales probably eat them. Sharks probably eat them. Anyways, it's also noted that hunts can wipe out an entire whale pod or dolphin family group. Critics and legal experts, I like that word, also point to the violation of the Faroe Islands of the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora and the Berne Convention. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure that the Faroe Islands didn't sign on to that. So what you going to do? We've been eating these whales. It's been documented that we've been eating them for 1,200 years. And we live on a freaking island. Are you going to ship us our burgers? Let's start with that. Let's start with a deal. What's that song? You can get with this or you can get with that. If you really want them to stop eating whales, would you feel more comfortable if they're eating cows? Like that's any better? Salute to you. Why don't you ship them some ribeyes? Be like, bro, I know you kill 700 whales a year. Let's take that down to 350, and we'll give you a 6-month supply of ribeyes. We'll give you 2 tons of ground beef. Like, what's the alternative? Because they're eating 700 whales a year. They're living off of it. It's one thing to say, hey, don't do that. It's one thing to say, hey, don't do that. Never mind the Inuits. Never mind the Lamarca Indonesian tribes. Never mind all these other people that you don't mind killing and eating whales, but you got to pick on the Faroe Islanders. Hey, don't do that. Just starve. Starve, you Faroese Islanders. Because I don't like seeing blood in the water because it's mean. And whales are smart. Okay, it's mean, it's cruel, yes. But we're eating it. We're feeding our family with it. Are you going to send us some steaks? Can I get some steakums? Can I get the Schweppes? Or what's that? You guys ever seen that frozen food truck that's yellow? It comes around, sells you that crap. What's that thing called? Schweppes? No, that's ginger ale. Well, come on. Someone help me out in America. There's some yellow frozen food truck. And it comes around and it sells you food. Schwans. Bro. Have you seen the Schwans truck? Do those still exist? Dude, the Schwans truck will come right to your house. You want some frozen macaroni and cheese? Say less. You want some steakums? I got you. You want some frozen? You want some ice cream-esque non-melting ice cream cones? What are those things called? Drumsticks? Have you seen this ice cream that doesn't melt? What is that? They sell non-melting ice cream. It sounds like something from the Willy Wonka factory. It's like the bubble gum that never runs out of flavor. Literally, ice cream doesn't melt. If you get the cheap ice cream, it literally doesn't melt, bro. If that doesn't scream toxicity, I don't know what does. There's probably more mercury in this non-frozen ice cream than there is in these damn pilot whales from the Faroe Islands. It's not ice cream. It's like dairy treat or something. If you really want the Faroese to stop killing these whales, you better send them a Schwan's truck with some fish sticks. Send them some frozen cod. It's like, hey guys, stop killing these whales. Can I interest you in some farm-raised salmon? No, we'll stick with the organic free-range pilot whale. That's what we want. To just sit here and tell these people that literally live off of this food for 1,200 years, and they have one huge community event where they all work together. It's a party. They have their own song. They have their own dance. They have their own language. Stop doing what you've been doing for 1,200 years. Can you offer some solutions, please? Is this how we're paying the bills, saving the world? I'm in my mom's basement. Do you want me to put my Cash App up? I got demonetized. She's not going to be here anymore. She's busy with her practice, so to speak. She moved on to other things. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm all you got, Aztec. I'm all you got. It's just me and the Faroese Islanders and the whales. I wish I could show the pictures of the whales, but I know I'll get in trouble. I know I will get in trouble. I don't want to offend the sensibilities of people that think that meat comes from a supermarket. Doesn't it look so nice? You go to the supermarket. Oh, how much is ground beef? You ever notice how expensive ground beef is? What's up with that? Ground beef is like, it used to be cheap. It's like, take all the stuff we don't like, take all the trim, take all the cuts, and grind it up. And sell it. And you got hamburger or meatloaf or meatballs. And it was cheap. And anything that wasn't ground up was a steak or a cut of meat. And it was more expensive. Now, sometimes you get this ground beef, it's like $5.99 a pound. I'm like, $5.99 a pound? What? You can get like London broil for cheaper sometimes. You can find New York strip for $7.99 a pound sometimes on sale. I don't know why ground beef is so expensive. I feel sorry for people who don't know how to cook. The only thing they know how to cook is tacos Molitos, ground meat tacos with some of that, taco seasoning, which is just cumin and paprika, a little cayenne maybe. That's what it is. There's a market for it, so they charge more for it, even though it's a cheaper product. It's crazy. It's crazy. I feel sorry for people that don't know how to cook. It's got to be a troubling existence. But there is one person I know that does not know how to cook pilot whale meat as a Faroeaner, and that is me, and that is something I got to learn. So let's get back to this culture. Let's get back to this beautiful culture where they've been subsistence farming like any other person in Indonesia or Alaska or Washington or Russia somewhere. E.T., welcome to the show. You're going to have to cam up. If you don't cam up, I can't let you on. But I do appreciate your participation. So, man in the back. I'm looking at the man in the back. I'm looking if he can cam up. If you don't cam up, you don't get on. People are out to get me. People are out to get your boy Barnabas, believe it or not. And look at me. It's not like I'm out here doing wrong in the world. So what? I'm trying to preserve Faroese culture. I want to preserve the rights of all indigenous peoples to continue eating free-range organic meat harvested in the traditional methods. E.T., you're going to have to cam up. So if you're not going to cam up, you're not coming up. That's what's up. I got some sneaky little buggers that are out to get me, and I must remain on point. Let's get back to it. Let's see. What did I miss here? We said they suffer. They do suffer. We're not glancing over that. And that's another thing that's interesting. In Maryland, of course, you're not camming up. Well, you just can't come up. Sorry. People do. I really appreciate it. If there was a way where I could turn your camera off permanently, I'd let you up, but I don't know who you are, so I can't let you up. People do mean things to people on YouTube. I can't have it, but I do appreciate your comments. So please stay and please hit that thumbs up and bring all your friends. I've only got 8 million people in here. So what was I saying? I'm sure it was very important. Crabs get steamed alive, which is pretty brutal. And lobsters get steamed or boiled. Seafood gets boiled alive. And, it's just a clam. It doesn't hurt it. Or I've heard people say lobsters don't feel pain. I'm like, who came up with that? Did you ask the lobster that? I don't believe that. It's pretty brutal to think of these poor crabs, but they get what they get. Hopefully, I am not reincarnated as a crab in Maryland, because that will be very unpleasant, to say the least. And soft shell crabs get it even, I don't know, I guess they get it faster. A soft shell crab, which of course is a blue crab in the phase of molting, which is when they come out of their shell to grow a bigger shell, but when they come out, it's soft until it hardens. And we just take scissors and cut their face off. It's just so brutal. Ugh. It is brutal any way you look at it. All right. So what was I really getting at? I don't know. There was a point to that. I'm not sure what it was. Let's see here. Suffering. Okay. Hunts can wipe out entire. I guess they probably can wipe out an entire pod or family, but considering they've been doing it for 1,200 years, it doesn't look like they're going away. How long have they been complaining about it? For about 70 years, they've been complaining, but it seems steady with the numbers. Critics and legal experts also always said that Denmark subscribes to, well, Denmark is not under the, oh, are they under the Faroe Islands? I don't know. The state of Denmark has also pushed back on and refused to ratify the International Whaling Commission moratorium on commercial whaling. But this is not commercial. This is not commercial whaling. This is community whaling. They don't sell it. It never leaves the island, and they eat 100% of it. They eat 100% of it. Streaming doesn't work. Oh, steaming doesn't work. No, we steam blue crabs in Maryland, sir. I know a thing or two. I don't even know if you have crabs in Australia, honestly. Probably get some kind of crab. But I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let's see here. Internationally, animal rights groups have targeted the hunts with protests, boycotts. Boycott what? You're going to boycott the Faroe Islands? I'm pretty sure they'll be fine. Boycott Faroe Islands. Boycott what? Travel? Like, seriously, what is their export? I think they export these little langoustines. Calls to boycott the Faroe Islands, including the Don't Visit Faroe, please, I want to visit, are driven by international outrage over grind to wrap, an annual tradition of blah, 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 blah. Yeah, protested by not visiting. No thanks. That's the only reason I want to go. Yeah, what's up, Vaughn? Shout out to all my millions of viewers and subscribers. We're talking about whaling on the Faroe Islands. We're talking about a culture and a tradition that's existed in written history for over 1,200 years. And all these animal rights groups have a problem with it. They're not selling this whale. The community all practices it together. The community eats the whales together. They have their own whale dance song and dance. And all these do-gooders got to come around and ruin a good thing. Why don't you go to California and stop all these cows from getting slaughtered? Why don't you go to Iowa with your little Sea Shepherd, get a Land Shepherd, and stop all these pigs from getting slaughtered? Out of all the people in the world to pick on, you're going to go pick on the Faroe Islanders. Tiny island in a frozen area. Stone Cold E.T. I don't remember him. He's got a cam up if he wants to come up. You got to pick on the Faroe. The Faroe Islands is between Iceland and Norway, and it's frozen, and it's cold. It's probably summer for like 3 days at most. And you got to come and pick on them. You're not going to pick on the Indonesians. You're not going to pick on the Alaskans. You're not going to pick on anyone else. If you want to pick on the commercial whalers, I'm not going to even make a show about that. Maybe you got a point. I don't know. But I'll be damned if the only indigenous tribe of people that you're going to pick on that catches whales and eats them for the community, they don't sell it, they eat every single part of it, and know you got a problem with it. Okay, yeah, go do something else, sea captain, whatever your name is. Just leave them alone. Hashtag leave the Faroese alone. Hashtag the Faroese did nothing wrong. Hashtag free range organic sea meat. Hashtag cow of the sea. Hashtag pilot whales. Proponents of Faroese pilot whaling defend it as an essential, oh my Jesus Christ. Proponents of Faroese pilot whaling defend it as essential to Faroese culture and argue that the number of whales taken are not harmful to the general pilot whale population. They also point to recent Faroese laws to make the whale hunts more humane What a joke that is. And reduce the unnecessary suffering of the animals. Honestly, if you want to do that, you should let them use guns. Yes. You should take a big gun and blast them right in their pilot whale head. And that's probably looks even more brutal and more whatever. But like I said before, if I was a pilot whale, I'd rather get blasted in the head with a big gun than stabbed to death with a spear, which is what they do. One locally supported perspective, as illustrated by material published by the Faroese Department of Fisheries, is that opposition to Faroese whaling is rooted in the ambiguities it presents in relation to predominant cultural perceptions of nature and human society found in the urbanized Western world. That is in quotes. That's a beautiful sentence there. It's basically what this whole show has tried to portray, albeit in a less elegant manner. Let me read this. This is a beautiful sentence. Let's read this again. One locally supported perspective, as illustrated by material published by the Faroese Department of Fisheries, is that the opposition of Faroese whaling is rooted in, quote, the ambiguities it presents in relation to predominant cultural perceptions of nature and human society found in the urbanized Western world. What they're talking about there is when you go to the supermarket, you see ground meat and you don't realize it's a cow. When you go to the supermarket, you want that chicken breast and you don't realize that you got to slice and dice and pluck and pull the guts out and the gizzard and all the rocks out of the chicken. You think turkey meat. Oh, look, it's ground turkey. It's healthy. Look how nice it looks. Look how nice ground turkey. It looks so clean. Bro, have you seen a turkey? What do you think the process is? Off with the head, take the damn feathers off, spill its guts, literally. And turkeys have rocks in them. It's so bizarre. You cut them here because they don't have teeth. So they eat stuff. They'll eat mice. They'll eat anything. They're basically like dinosaurs. They'll eat mice. Could you imagine being a mouse eaten by a turkey? Ugh. And you go down that gullet, it's called, and then in there before it hits the stomach, it's just like acid with rocks. Ugh. Oh, that's got to be probably worse than a Faroe Island pilot whale death. Ugh. Being some living organism in a chicken's gullet or a turkey's gullet. Oh, it's so gross to just sit there and get mushed up with rocks in the inside of turkey. Ugh. That's even worse. That is even worse. But when people go to the store, they don't know that. When people get their little sliced ham, they're like, oh, isn't this pleasant? You're eating flesh. And there really is, as this beautiful, eloquent sentence says, as it says, the predominant cultural perceptions of nature and human society found in urbanized Western world. This notion has been reiterated by other academics, such as the 2008 paper in, here you go, Aztec, Australian Archaeology, that said conservationists find Faroese whaling particularly offensive because it does not conform to traditional Western perspectives on primitive tribes. Okay, here we go. There it is. There it is. It's okay. On a related note, the Dutch anthropologist Rob van Ginkel, not Winkle, Ginkel, has argued that the Faroese whale hunt is unfairly singled out due to the obviously important symbolic dimensions of whales in human classifications of the pecking order of sea creatures. Is it unfair? I think we're all in agreement that whales are intelligent, thereby enabling their suffering to be to a higher extent, and with their familial connections as they see each other's demise right next to them in the most horrific manners. But that doesn't mean I'm against it. In human classifications of the pecking order of sea creatures, it has also been suggested that a reduction in the whale hunt could lead to an increase in other less sustainable fishing practices by the Faroese. Got a good point there. Got a good point there. If they stop eating whales, then they got to eat all the cod or all the langoustines or all the penguins or whatever. I think they eat penguins. I actually do think they eat penguins. Yeah, they eat penguins in the Faroe Islands. Watch the documentary. They're not like it's not like the regular penguin, some other kind of penguin. Not that it matters, I guess, but actually the ones they eat look prettier, if that makes it worse. Proponents of whaling also argue that international whaling regulations have already scaled down the whale hunt from a profit maximization model to a fairly limited form, and that, as with efficient fishery management, the whaling communities are economically incentivized to ensure that the whale hunt remains sustainable. Anthony Hopkins film. What? I didn't know this. In 1989, Whale and Dolphin Conservation Society. What? Commissioned a 1 minute long animated public information service announcement. What? We got to watch this. Directed by Charlie Paul and the music from Gary Bell to raise awareness about oh my God, bro. I'm never going to watch anything Anthony Hopkins again. Faroe Islands whaling, long-finned pilot whales. The film portrays the practice in a negative light, focusing on suffering of the whales and the claimed sadism. Sadism? Bro. Okay, we got to watch this. Hopefully it doesn't show it. Yeah, okay. Oh, we're such sadists. We're such sadists, Anthony Hopkins. Is this it? Oh, here it is. All right. We're going to watch this. So this is a 1989 film made by Anthony Hopkins to save the whales. Really, bro? I think the funniest thing of all time when I was young, even when I was young, I realized like what is going. I think it wasn't the first time I realized it, but I realized how silly celebrities became and sticking their nose where they don't belong. Whales are intelligent. That's what they say. I think they are. Far left, eco radical, greeny weenies are well known globally for their violence, forest fires, etc. Tell me if you remember this. Do you know who Sting is? Not the wrestler, from the band The Police. I don't know if you know this or not, but I remember, and I don't know where he's at with this now. Don't you love when I say love, hate? Why is it Brazil's problem to not cut down their trees, but we can do whatever we want, right? Like, what's going on there? Like, the rainforest is the lungs of the earth. Okay, maybe. Sure. I don't want to chop down trees. Yeah, I want to preserve forests. I want to preserve jungles. But why is America like telling them, yo, don't chop down trees? Maybe the world should get together and be like, bro, don't chop down your trees. Here's a bounty to not chop down trees. Don't chop down your trees. We'll give you some free gasoline. Don't chop down your trees. We'll give you some ribeye steaks. Just a gall to tell another country what to do with their own land. And on that note, I remember Sting. And Sting's cause du jour was save the Amazon. And he like went and he met some uncontacted tribes. Probably gave him measles, mumps, and rubella or something. I don't know. You know, he's hanging out with these people like Sepultura did and trying to save the Amazon. Trying to save the, and listen, I'm not against saving the Amazon. I'm not against this and that. It seems pretty noble in a way, but isn't it just strange that when you become a world-known star, what you pick? You know, when Barnabas becomes a world-famous YouTuber, what's going to be my cause du jour? What's it going to be? I guess I already know it. It's going to be save the culture of the Faroese. Much like Sting wants to preserve the call. And how is this any different? Sting's cause, and my last memory, this is like from the 80s, was to go and save the Amazon tribe culture. And I bet you if you ask those Amazonian, I mean, we're talking like, you know, the red paint on their face, the grass skirts and stuff. I've seen his documentary because those people still exist. I've seen his documentary, and they interviewed this woman who grew up like up until she was 20. You know, she had that red face paint on. She had like no clothes. And they could translate. Of course, she doesn't speak Spanish, right? She speaks some kind of whatever that language is. And they interviewed her, and she's like, yeah, this is so much better. I don't like living in the jungle naked. I like wearing clothes. And like where she was living after that was not like a 4-star hotel. But she's like, I'm so glad I got out of the jungle. I have showers. Now I have clothes. I don't have all these bugs. Like she really said it. She really said it. Now I don't know what the answers are. I'm not saying, oh, let's bring all these people into our Western culture, and it's a double-edged sword. There's good and bad. But I bet you if Sting went and interviewed all those people, they'd probably be like, bro, Sting, don't you have like 10 million acres and 5,000 homes? I would much rather live in one of your spare bedrooms than in this freaking Amazon forest hunting with blowguns and bow and arrows. Maybe that sounds disrespectful to some, but I'm just being honest. And as a human, if part of America somehow reverted into some non-technological state, and they didn't do it on purpose, let's say, I don't know, the electricity goes down, EMP flare, who knows, if for some reason, or like a maybe World War III is going to happen, maybe the bombs are going to fall. And imagine like in 50 years, if like part of the country, people are living in caves and the rest of us are living in apartments and condos. Wouldn't we want to bring our fellow man up to the standard of living, knowing that it's not perfect, knowing that it comes with its inherent evils? I would. So there's something to be said to get these people out of the damn Amazon. I'm not saying destroy your culture, keep your cultural traditions, don't forcibly take people, but maybe give them an option. Anyways, it's not something we have to worry about here in America, of course. But I just find it odd that Sting's main cause was to go to the Amazon and preserve culture. And much like Sting, when I become the world's biggest YouTuber, I'm going to go to the Faroe Islands and act like Sting. We got to preserve the culture. They've been hunting these whales for 1,200 years. Like, why not? Why can't I do that? That's going to be my cause. And I'm going to build a pirate ship. And I'm going to go hunt down the sea shepherd. I was just listening to the police the other day, but thank you for the programming tip. Appreciate it. Sting is an idiot. Yeah, but he's got some pretty good songs. I don't know. Is he an idiot? Just when it comes to that. Okay, so speaking of celebrities, here is this film that I have never seen from 1989 from Anthony Hopkins. Of course, that is Silence of the Lambs fame, is it not? Isn't that Sir Anthony Hopkins? So let's see what this is. If they show real pictures of the whales getting harvested, we're not going to watch it. But let's have a go at this. Here we go.
Somewhere in this vast place, there's a small group of islands known as the Faroe Islands. No one knows why, but once a year, large groups of pilot whales return here. The islanders look forward to their visit each year and prepare a special homecoming for them. First of all, they herd the whales into the harbor. Then they harpoon them. And then cut them up with hunting knives while they're still alive. The noise you can hear is the whale screaming as it experiences this horrific death. The more the whales scream, the more the crowd seem to enjoy it. The meat is then distributed to the crowd, and once their freezers are crammed full, the rest is left on the beach to rot.
Okay, first off, total lie. There's not any meat left rotting on the beach. That's not happening. That is not happening. Give me a break. But that is interesting. What a great voice he has. What a great voice. Do we want to watch it again? It's pretty compelling, honestly. For what it is, He did his job well. What a great voice he has. Let's go.
Somewhere in this vast place, there's a small group of islands known as the Faroe Islands. No one knows why, but once a year, large groups of pilot whales return here. The islanders look forward to their visit each year and prepare a special homecoming for them. First of all, they herd the whales into the harbor. Then they harpoon them. And then cut them up with hunting knives while they're still alive. The noise you can hear is the whale screaming as it experiences this horrific death. The more the whale scream, the more the crowd seem to enjoy it. Meat is then distributed to the crowd, and once their freezers are crammed full, the rest is left on the beach to rot.
It's such a lie. It does not rot. They don't leave any meat. They don't waste any meat. They do take the bones and they kind of bulldoze them off a cliff somewhere, which seems like a pretty good use of it. I'm sure the fish in the water don't mind. All the surrounding fish and crabs love it. They're like, bro. Dances with whales. What a great harvest. Okay, let's get back to it. Thanks, Sir Anthony Hopkins. You're banned. Anthony Hopkins, henceforth, now and forever, has been canceled by the Barnosphere and shall never again rear his ugly face and beautiful voice into the barnyard. So let it be written. So let it be done.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
That's what's up. Let's get back to it. Okay. Charlie Paul, nice music, longfin pilot whales. Sea Shepherd campaigns. Yeah, Sea Shepherd personnel. They've been harassing these people since forever. Here's a picture from 2011. Sea Shepherd's been involved in campaign against the Faroese whale hunts since 1980s, but I didn't know it was around that long, but stepped up its efforts in 2014 when it launched Operation Grind Stop, which saw hundreds of volunteers traveling to the Faroe Islands to patrol the waters in an attempt to help protect the whales and dolphins. The subsequent year, Sea Shepherd, did it work? It doesn't say. The subsequent year, Sea Shepherd led a further high-profile operation on the Faroe Islands called Slepio Grandini, literally meaning set the whales free, a traditional order used by whale hunt foremen to call off a whale hunt. That resulted in confrontations with local police and several arrests. The organization's campaign aimed to pressure the Danish parliament into stopping the whale hunt. It received some international media coverage. Imagine if they succeeded, and then imagine if the Faroese Islanders literally starved to death. The Sea Shepherd is that sick. Some of these PETA people will say that. You see these posts, some people, they're like, the world doesn't deserve animals, or my only friend is it's just like they put animals at the same level as humans. No, humans are at the top. Anyone who's not on the same page is just like completely bonkers. It's cool to be a vegan. It's cool to not want to eat meat every meal. It's cool to preserve life. It's cool to eat plants. I'm not against that. But to sit here and say or prefer that humans suffer over animals, bro, you need to get your head checked. We need to look out for each other, and humans come first. Humans come first. That's the way it is. It's kind of bizarre that I even have to say this, but apparently I do. The Faroese government has asked the Danish government to forbid the Sea Shepherd from entering the Faroe Islands. I don't need to read all this stuff. There's a bunch of instances, and that's it. That is it. That is where we're at. Hopefully next year or the year after, I will be streaming live. I wonder if they let you stream it. I wonder what the laws are out there. I wonder if I was a world famous YouTuber, as I am, went to the Faroe Islands. I wonder if you can even go to the Faroe Islands during the hunt. This is stuff I have to look up. And I wonder if I connected to Wi-Fi and live stream from the Faroe Islands, the whale hunt. I wonder if you think there'd be like cops, the Stasi coming up. Let me see your papers. I need to film out of that camera. Maybe we need some First Amendment audits, lull, in the Faroe Islands. I don't know what their laws are, of course, I guess, and take it that they are of Danish descent, some type of Danish law. I don't know. But it is a dream of mine. Here's another dish. It doesn't look... It looks interesting, to say the least. And I will present it, of course, because it has a few accoutrements that go with it. Here we go. That looks like... Is that sharing? That looks like that same kind of meat, which is soft speak pilot whale meat, black and blubber middle. Oh, so the pickled ginger is blubber. It's not pickled ginger. And dried fish. Okay, so these things that look like cracker, that look like Triscuits, are dried fish. The black stuff is whale meat. The thing in the middle is blubber. And I guess that these are boiled potatoes without skins. I'll take my potatoes with the skin on, please. Can I get some sauce with this? How does this work? It's just like dry. Do they even have wine? They probably don't even have wine traditionally, because you can't grow grapes on this island. Ooh, I don't want to show anything. I'll get in trouble. Let's get out of here. All right, so that's it. Let's see here. The footage is completely fake. This is propaganda. Sea Shepherd was taken over by Greenpeace, a Marxist propaganda organization. Lock them all up. Do they do any good, I wonder? Probably. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Everything must be discussed. Everything must be investigated nowadays, because everything that's been told to me, okay, I stand corrected. Not everything. Many things that have been told to me growing up turned out to not be true. And everything must be questioned nowadays. And on that note, I question the reasons behind the hatred of the traditional tribe of Faroese Islanders in the frozen tundra, in the, what is this, the Baltic Sea? These people, the Faroe Islands are a self-governing territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, which also owns Greenland and Lagos, situated halfway between Iceland and Norway in the North Atlantic Ocean. It just sounds cold. It just sounds cold, like there's a bunch of German submarines on the bottom. Home to roughly 55,000 people and a legendary population of sheep. The 18 volcanic islands are famed for dramatic cliffs, moody weather, and underground subsea tunnels. The archipelago, what a beautiful word, is characterized by dramatic landscapes sculpted by the North Atlantic. The 18 islands, 17 of the 18 islands are inhabited and uniquely connected by an advanced network of bridges, causeways, ferries, and subsea tunnels, some featuring underwater roundabouts. Oh my God, bro, I got to go to the Faroe Islands. They've got underground tunnels. Tórshavn, the capital, is located on the island of Streymoy and is home to about half of the Faroese population. Okay, that's like the big island. The island experienced a subpolar oceanic climate. That means cold. While winters are mild due to the Gulf Stream. Oh, wait a minute. Does that not mean cold then? While winters are mild due to the Gulf Stream, the islands are famously windy and frequently rainy. often experiencing 300 days of rain a year. Bro, that's too much. The Faroese economy is heavily reliant on fishing and aquaculture, which accounts for the vast majority of the nation's exports. Hold on. I don't think they export just whale, do they? Maybe I can buy some. Faroe Island export whale meat. Wait a minute. Can I get some? No, they don't. They export the langoustines, these like big shrimp. They don't sell it. So they don't even sell this whale meat. Let me just say that one more time. None of this whale meat is sold. It's all hunted and consumed on the island by the native indigenous tribe called Faroese. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. I do appreciate your participation. I appreciate the 4 million people watching today. And whoever ET is, get yourself a camera and I'll let you participate. I would, if you're not a double agent, so to speak, you can come up. And I think that's all I have to show. Do we want to look at some pictures? No one likes a thumbnail. I kind of do. That's where we're at. Just of note, just a friendly reminder, this guy is still hiding in that place in the Middle East. And I haven't heard anything about extraditing him. He comes to America and apparently victimizes American children. And for some reason, we're okay with it. Also, this is a real picture because who you're friends with today, you might be enemies with tomorrow. Of course, Donald Rumsfeld, Secretary of State or War, I can't remember, Defense, and Saddam Hussein. That's a fun one. You know what I'm going to end it on? I'm going to end it on something kind of weird. And I'm totally going to change the topic. But this, all right, so I think I have really laid down my case for why the Faroese need to eat whales. And this is definitely not something you might expect, but I found this very moving and I want to show it. And we're going to go back in time. Go back in time to when Saddam Hussein was allegedly a bad guy, when he had weapons of mass destruction, quote unquote. And when the world convinced many of us, including ourselves, that he was some monster doing all these monstrous things, which maybe he was, but he didn't do anything against me. He didn't bother me. I had no problems with him. He was painted out to be someone that I believe is not true necessarily, because you have to dehumanize and make people evil to get the world and or your country to get behind an unjust war. Because, of course, we are involved in so many, and they just never stop, and they go on and on and on. And we are experiencing a great awakening in America and in the world. And as I said before, everything must be reevaluated. And on that note, I don't know if you remember or not, but I remember when they caught Saddam Hussein, and it brought a bit of happiness and national pride to me personally, because he was caught in a cave and he said, I'm ready to negotiate. And it was like, ha ha, he's running and he's hiding, and America got the bad guy once again, and we're awesome. Go USA. And then I started reading things recently, because let's not forget, we were his friend when he was attacking Iran for like 10 years. We're giving him weapons, including allegedly gas, weapons of mass destruction or something. And when I was in school, I was very young, he invaded Kuwait. And it was just portrayed, as it often is, as evil madman of the Middle East. His lust for greed and power has overwhelmed him, and he's invaded this small country of Kuwait. Of course, I never even heard of Kuwait. I never heard of Kuwait, just like these poor guys back in the 60s never heard of Vietnam until they got drafted and never came home. I never heard of Kuwait back then. Looking it up, it's so small, you hardly ever hear about it. And you're just like, man, that Saddam Hussein is just such a mean person. He's just so greedy. And then they made these movies. They made movies about him and his son, Uday, and he would do all these horrible things. I remember these movies. And then they had his torture chambers and all this and that, which maybe it's true. But I don't know. I don't know what's true or not. And then, of course, some actress, daughter of some person, went up there and said that Saddam's army went to the NICU and started taking children out of incubators. Remember this? That was a proven lie. That was a proven lie. Just to get us to sign off for this unjust war. And that was Operation Desert Storm. And then, of course, the next time we attacked Iraq, I forget what it was called. But anyways, eventually we caught Saddam and we brought him to trial in Iraq. And we're going to watch this. This is his sentencing. And of note, I find it interesting that they are adhering to the Western style of dress and the English style of parliamentary procedure, which is kind of insulting, honestly, because these are a people that have been around for thousands of years, that have their own tradition, language, and culture, much longer than any other than Western civilizations. And they seem to be doing okay. Maybe they got kind of eclipsed, but to just completely submit and be subdued to Western style in clothing and parliamentary procedure and judicial procedure, it just seems so bizarre. So I am going to show this. This is Saddam Hussein getting sentenced. And of course, he doesn't speak English. So I'm going to kind of do my acting. So I'm going to have to do two voices. And I'm probably going to show this again for another show because it really is moving to me. So I have to do the judge and I have to do Saddam's voice. Here we go. So Saddam Hussein sitting in here in a stylish Western suit, no tie. He's got a beard, but it's trimmed. He's kind of a handsome man, honestly. Let's see what he's got to say. Listen to the court's decision. I'll hear the court's decision. No, I'll just sit down. Stand up. Get him to stand up. Security makes him stand up. No point in talking with you. The court has decided the sentence for the indicted Saddam Hussein al-Majid with death by hanging. There's actually a video of his hanging too. If you're sick, go ahead and watch it. And this is when he starts talking. This is what I'm just going to read what Saddam Hussein says. The judge just basically says, you're going to die. You're going to die by hanging. Long live the people. Long live the Arab nation. Down with the collaborators. Down with the invaders. God is great. God is great. God is great. Look at these faces on these traitors. God is great. God is great. Long live the people. Long live the Arab nation. Down with the collaborators. Down with the invaders. Go to hell, you in the court. Screw you in your court. The sinners will be disgraced. We are its family. It's ours. We are its family. It's ours. We are its family. It's ours. We are the people of humanity, and the criminal invaders, they are the enemies of humanity. Their collaborators are the enemies of humanity. God is great. God is great. God is great. The sinners will be disgraced. I advise the great Iraqi people to forgive all those that betrayed, those who takes back his stance. I advise our great people to not resent the people of the countries that aggressed against Iraq and open his chest to pardon. You are not decision makers. You are cowards. You are servants for colonialism and the invaders and their puppets. God is great. God is great. Life is for us and death is for our enemies. Life to the people and death to its enemies. Life to the glorious Arab nation and death to its enemies. Life to humanity. The court's adjourned. So there it is. Of course, this is kind of odd because, yes, I'm an American. I'm on my team, USA, even when we're wrong. I don't want to say this in any disrespect, particularly to those who never came back from Iraq, which is just such a shame and a travesty. But I wanted to show this, and I'll probably make a show of this at some point, that things are not as they seem, and we need to re-examine all of history, and we need to know history so we don't repeat the same mistakes. And on that note, to all of those of you in the barnyard, God is great. See you next time.